Now, we jump into Group 14. Group 14 is much, much, much lower than Group 57. Group 57, we're looking at years and years and years of fundamental understanding and practice built up. That may not exist in Group 14, so what we're going to try to do is Papa Forte is going to take care of you. We're going to take good care of you. Alright, because I'm sure all these players are probably going to watch. So, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight things that you do really well and highlight things that need to be improved on. But again, another disclaimer, I don't know everything. I know more about this game than I can actually execute, so there's that. Alright then, I'll load up the files here. We'll jump right into Group 14. And I'm just going to pull right from the top in the bag. See what we get. And they played on melee. Alright. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, for the colors that they randomized on or picked. Ready? Go! Alright, we got purple and orange. That is satisfying. Very good. Alright. So, you know the map. It's Neo-Dark Origin. That's week number 2. It's going to be all day today. Spawning in the lower right corner is the orange Zerg. It is ManiacBen. Top left corner is the purple Terran with the username of Grima's birthday. It's it's Grima's birthday. Who is that? Who's it? Redmund, is that you? I forgot. Grima's birthday. That's great. I'm gonna have to look at who that is because I forgot. Alright, so Depot first for Terran. Barracks first is an option. Either BBS or 8 racks. 8 racks either in base or forward. But those are aggressive options. If you want to play a macro game, play standard. Go supply first. And here from ManiacBen, we see that that was 10 out of 9 on the hatch. So what happened there was we got up to 9 drones to fully saturate our main, at least as a base saturation layer. And then we made the extractor, built a drone, canceled it, and that's how we got 10 out of 9. And the reason for that is because we get to keep the saturation of the mining, while a 10th drone goes out and makes a 9 hatch, which by the way is considerably early. That is an aggressive time. And we'll note this aggression by also checking in on the spawning pool gas as well. These are also quick follow-ups. They were both 9 out of 9, meaning we build drones in between. So it's a 10, 9, 9. This is shaping up to be a Zergling flood. And we'll see. Okay, from the chat. Yeah, Redmund. It is Redmund. So he's going to get his SCV in here. Scouts the hatchery. If you're savvy and you click on that hatch, you'll look at the health and see where it is relative to what time it is in the game, and you'll know what kind of hatchery that is. And yeah, with 3 larvae turning into 3 eggs as soon as the pool pops, that's another telegraph right there that Zerg is sending. That it's going to be Zerglings. So, okay, our choice from Redmund is to go factory, expand, because we only have 1 SCV mining gas. Optimizing for Terran is actually very important, so this does make a difference. 2 SCVs mining here versus here, big difference. 8 Zerglings. Oh, we're deciding to... Okay, I see. He wants to consolidate. I say just go in. I mean, you're already on an aggressive... You're on an aggressive opening. He's already got you scouted. You know, the SCV sees what's up here. Just go, just go, just go, just go. Go, go, go. Alright. So, in this game so far, we've got... Yeah, this is smart. Okay. Yeah. So this was a factory expand, right? We'd want to normally expand on the low ground, but we saw all the Zerglings, so we build the command center up on the high ground. We can just lift it. Brought the SCVs, but didn't quite plug the hole all the way. And now our only defense is this Vulture, which has just fallen, and with 6 Zerglings and Zergling speed about to finish in a couple of seconds with 4 more reinforcing, I think this is probably game, as we don't even have a Vulture queued up in the factory. There's nothing to contest this. Speed has kicked in. These Zerglings are now 10, 20 times more dangerous. The bunker does complete, but there's nothing to get in it to shoot at the Zerglings. And the SCV slaughter begins. Lol, GG. Yeah, you got Ling flooded, and yeah, you missed the hole, unfortunately. We really got to make sure that you're plugging that up. Zerglings are very small units. So, things we did good that game. Decision making for Redmund. Good build, good decision making. Just wrong execution. I mean, we just missed the hole, that's all. Next time, get it. Your game will look different, you'll be fine. What did we do good for ManiacBen? Alright, again, build order. That was crisp. 10, and then 9, and then 9. It was executed correctly. Speed was on time. Your execution of the Zerglin Flood, however, was... yeah, just go. Just go, man. Just go. You got the Zerglings. It's good to group them up, but if you're on the offensive, timing is of the essence. Just go. Everything else, mwah. Good game, guys. Alright, let's load up the second game from this group. Oh yeah, I can feel it kicking in. Alright, spawning in the top left corner is the purple Terran here. He's back. It's Redmund with his ID Grimace Birthday. And spawning in the lower right as the red Zerg. I'm too high for this. Dog Fart 69. Get it together. Okay. Guys, if you play with IDs like this, I can't. Alright, who is this supposed to be? I could tab out and check, but I really don't want to. Somebody in the chat will probably know, or the player himself watching will call himself out. But alright, here we go. Neo Dark Origin, once again, all day today. Is this ManiacBen, maybe? It might be? I don't think so, because ManiacBen already played a game with their ID as ManiacBen, so that'd be a little confusing. Okay, so we're opening nice and easy. Again, depot into barracks. Normal, respectful. Overlord going across the map as soon as possible, right from the game. Oh wait, it's NightDad probably, because his CPL username is NightDad69. No dog fart is NightDad. Alright, so we have our player. Our red Zerg player here is NightDad. Which, I think is a newer name, yeah? That's not one that I recognize. But, alright, so taking a look at these openings, we're jumping into the game. Redmund wants to get that factory, so we're getting up to 100 gas with 3 SCVs. Once we get to 88, we take them off one by one. Watch, he'll do that. He's so good. He'll do it. Watch, ready? 88. Take one off. There it is. Take another off. Boom. And factory. After 50 more minerals. Ready? Go. 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 Redmund. There. Alright, good. 242. Alright, we'll talk about that. So, we have decided to go pool first as Night Dad. I do believe this was an over pool, because this Overlord was out, and then we went pool gas. We're going to have a later natural, so the economy here is going to suffer, and Zerg economy is the most fragile. So what's going to happen here is these 4 Zerglings need to get value. They need to get value equivalent to not only themselves, but the larva that they're worth, but also the time you lost between choosing pool first versus hatch first. So there's a lot to make up for. But Redmund had already scouted that and was prepared. And if you're Terran, you could just pull 4 SCVs, put them on the ramp, group them with the Marines, and then press hold position, and Zerg can't really do anything. Unless they really commit to it or have really good micro. Generally just doesn't work, but okay, so Redmund has kind of made a decision here that he's not under threat, but there is enough Zerglings here to be threatening. We need to be careful. With a Vulture, it's going to help out a lot. We don't really want to lose any of our units, though, as Terran. Alright, so we have fended off the Zerglings. The Vulture's going to chase. We're getting a bunker up. We're super safe. We can start a command center. Off of the back of pool first, this is favoring Terran right now. So, back at Zerg space, we see, okay, we got the layer, a fast layer, that's good. We need a tech for it though. But we have the necessary colony here. This sunken colony is necessary. This is why. This is why. This is why. Because if this gets up here and back here, Zerg loses. So, good job here by Night Dad getting the sunken colony as the response to the Vulture after correctly identifying Terran has gone the factory open. And we see Armory going up here at the Nat. And with additional factories, this will be a Goliath play. Potentially a Goliath timing. Terran has a nice 8-minute timing with +1 armor. And like a handful, I think a full control group of Goliaths it is. That can be difficult to stop. Alright, so here's our tech, our Spire. The problem is, it's quite late. And normally, yeah, we can kind of make up for that in other ways, but with Zerg, I don't really think there's a way to make up for loss in tech time. I mean, especially in this particular matchup, Zerg versus Terran is very tech-heavy and tech-oriented. It makes it a very gas-starved matchup. So, if you want to fight Terran as Zerg, you need gas units. Because if you just have minerals, you can only make Zerglings or Speedlings. Well, if you've ever played a ZVT mid-game with Speedlings, you know how that goes. Not well. Okay, Hydras are a lot more expensive than they seem to be. You need an economy of drones behind that to power it. You don't have time to build all those drones. And Terran has these timings where they can just come and kill you. They can just come and kill you. So, the timing of your tech can determine whether or not you live or die. Okay, we're getting a Hydra Den here. This could be for ostensibly a Lurker tech follow-up, or perhaps for just the speed range, because we'll go Hydra and combine that with Mutas, which is a composition that's capable of tackling the Terran Goliath composition just by itself with the armor upgrade. And there we do see the armory spinning. There it is, armor. The armor has started. We do see the turrets that are up. We need main mineral line covered. We need our main resources covered. We need our natural resources covered, and we need our production covered. That's primarily what we're looking for. I'm not adept enough with Terran yet to be able to give you guys like a number on turrets, when, where, or why. I'm still learning that myself, but you do want to learn when Zerg puts down their spire, or roughly what timing it is, so that you know when to put your turrets up. And now Night Dad's going to go in here and try to look for value with the mutas. Ends up losing one, so that sucks a little bit. We didn't get anything for it, but we did scout the fact that it's going to be a bunch of Goliaths. We should be able to pick out that with the spinning armory here, it's going to be that timing as well, so we can prepare for that. And if you want to prepare for that and not die, Sunkens do very well versus Goliaths. Sunkens trade awesome with Goliaths. They shred them. Okay, we're going back in here and we're trying to pick off SCVs. I didn't catch it, but I'm assuming he got a few because he had 7. We heard one die, now there's 6. 7 is the magic number you want with Zerg Mutalisks. 7 will one-shot an SCV. 6 will not. Alright, so it's 8.5 minutes. We're seeing this timing, this pocket of Goliaths that I was talking about to you guys. Here we go, full control group. Armor is actually a little bit late, but it's going to kick in by the time they really start engaging down here. Because he's going to notice this third, it's free. These are not up in time. Creep colonies are a very reactionary building. If you're going to make them, you need to react on time. If they're already too close, just don't bother. It's 175 minerals for a sunken colony and a lot of time. And it's also a drone, which hurts your economy. Alright, so we have the speed upgrade, we have the range upgrade on the way. Double Evo for +1/+1. Missile Carapace. We have Queen's Nest to transition to Hive play. We're going to talk about that. Mutalisk's coming back in for a little bit more damage. This is going to be very, very difficult to stop. I'm looking at this right now and I'm telling you guys this is insufficient to defend this. We'll need more Sunkens to buy time. The siege tanks will eventually tear them down though. And now armor has kicked in. These Goliaths have 2 armor now. That's high. That's a lot. So we have a real nasty situation here. If you're Zerg, you're supply blocked for one. Oh, if we can pick off that tank. Oh, we decided to turn around. Okay. If we make decisions with units, there's a certain point where you're forced to commit. Like up here is an example of bringing your units up and then down and then losing one for nothing. So there's sometimes you are forced to commit if the situation demands it. And it's really the unit matchups, what you have to respect. And here, okay, so we see he's going to make his last stand here. You see how fast the Hydras just get murdered. I mean, one siege tank really, really helps out, but this composition just slaughters. So we're not going to have enough here. This game is over. Let's talk about what we did good, what we need a little improvement on. So Redmund did a good job responding and then macroing. We've got a good build order here. We were a little bit late on the push, but it was correct. Otherwise, it looked very good. Let's see. You can get that armor a little faster. You can push in a little faster. You can have a third set up. I don't know, man. This looks good. This looks like a pretty clean game. From Zerg's side, it's difficult, right? Because we're constantly in this battle with ourselves where we're deciding what to do with our larva, how to spend it, right? Do we make drones? Or do we make mutas or hydras? And the answer is, it's just a reaction. It's a reaction. You have to react based on the information that you have. So I think we needed to drone up a little better. The tech pathing and the build was, so far, it was good. The Spire definitely needs to be on time, though. If we're going to build Spire, if we're going to go the Spire route, it has to be on time. Because otherwise, if it's not on time, you're giving free time to Terran to continue setting up, to continue building up. And the mutas need to get out there and disrupt, to give you time to expand more, to build more drones, to get up to where you need. So I think we needed to just focus on droning a little bit. And with the Queen's Nest, yeah, we do want to get up to Hive Tech basically ASAP versus Terran. If they go for a more mech-focused army, then we get a Queen's Nest to build queens, right? But that costs a lot of money and a lot of larvae. And for that, we need more hatcheries and more bases. So I think we just got a little bit too early. You have the right idea, getting both of the Evo chambers, though. Getting the upgrades, that's good. Alright, let me fix this up. We'll go ahead and jump into our next game and see. These are pretty good games so far. It's pretty good games. We're finding a lot. We're now here to learn. We're learning. And we're firing up the next game. Gonna shift over to it all day, baby. Neo Dark Origin, you know what's up. Spawning in the top left as the purple Terran. Grimace birthday, it's your boy Redmund. And down here, I'm gonna shift tab. I'm not going to shift tab, you animals. Play in top versus bottom. Alright, spawning is the gray Protoss in the bottom right. It is my good pal, SHimmer, in his Rev Clan jersey. So, this is the first game that we've seen from SHimmer tonight, and if you don't know who SHimmer is, he is the king of the grind. He's played more ladder games than you. I promise. Be interesting to see a Terran versus Protoss between these two particular players on this map. So far, respectful openings. We're not getting out early. We're not going to try to proxy and do underhanded sleight of hands. We are doing a Pylon Scout, though, from Protoss. Now, on a two-player map, when you do a Pylon Scout, I believe that is to guarantee a gas steal. Yeah, Protosses, confirm, please. I don't know Protoss. So we're gonna get up here. Come on, SHimmer. Oh man, Redmund manages to snag it. I think if we had gotten there, because the Pro pathed off a little bit, unless my eyes were deceiving me. I don't know, I'm pretty toasty now. How many people we got? Let's see. Alright. 20 viewers! Hello! Alright. CPL's popping. It's popping, baby! Okay, so we're gonna go gas. That means this is 100% a cybernetics core. Boom. Yep. So Shim wants to do a goon opening. Still got our scouting probe here. That's nice. We'll get more intel. Redmund doing the factory opening. And for newer Terran players, master this. This right here. Master it. We just need one. We got two. Unless he's doing this on purpose. This could be an optimization. I'm not going to discount that. But usually it's just one if we want to expand. But generally this is like the safest way to open your first 3 minutes versus Protoss if you're Terran. So if you're new, and you're really struggling versus Protoss, memorize good formations for your buildings and do this build order. And go Vulture first. Keep making Marines. Make like 3 Marines and a Vulture. It's very safe. And always put your depots to the right of your barracks, because a depot to the right is zealot tight. So here we go, Vulture first, this is good. Shim gets in, gets the probe, loses the probe, but does get the scouting information for it. We do see that it was when the factory completed and that a Vulture is being made. SHimmer over here playing completely stock standard. We're going to get range first. Our first Dragoon popped out, 315. It's going to go for ostensibly a 23 Nexus. Probe coming down here. We are positioned and we are moving as though we are going to take a Nexus here, and there it goes. From the Protoss' perspective versus Terran, the 23 Nexus is kind of like a middle-of-the-ground approach. It's it's dependable, it's safe. You get Dragoons out quickly. And look at this, doing this. This is real great right here. This is what you want to do if you're Protoss. And great job by SHimmer. Sticking this goon here and hold positioning on it so that that Vulture could not come up. That's a big game changer if that Vulture gets in, because then you have to chase it. And if Redmund displays really good micromanagement skills, then that one Vulture can kill so many probes. So good job there holding the ramp. That's the power of 23 Nex. You have a forward goon, and then you have more goons back and one to hold the ramp. So really good job. This is very defensive and very well done. Pylon here, we're starting to make a wall at the natural to further stem the flow of Vultures. We're going Gate, Nexus, Robo, which is good. That's also very safe. We're going to be able to get observers out at a decent time to match the potential of Terran placing lots of mines out on the map. We can catch this Vulture here. That's nice. Good pick there from SHimmer. I'd like to get this base mining and operational as soon as possible. Here we go, Observatory. Observatory is a good wide building, so it's nice to place at your natural because you're usually not under threat of losing it. But it's great for blocking Vultures. It's just somewhere to put it. Keeps more space in your main, too, to let you build more gateways. See, look at this block he's setting up. This is really nice. There's going to be a lot of room for gates here. Okay. So, we should be harassing the bunker, and just because we could chip away little bits of value from Terran and kind of force their attention on it as well. But with the siege tank out, it's not really going to do anything, because the tank can outrange us and pick safely at the goons from behind the bunker. Okay, so let's take a quick analysis of Terran right here. We have a factory, and then we built an E-bay, an engineering bay. Now we're going armory into a second factory. What this kind of signals to me is a setup for an upgrade style Terran. We'll see. He could actually just go into 5 factories, but it's going to be a fast +1. The E-bay is for turrets. You can see there are 3. This is to keep out observers and shuttles. We'll probably need a 4th one like here-ish. The observer's going to come in. This should get in Terran's base immediately. As far in as it can go. Turret, stay off to the side. We got to watch this, though. So we're going to sack the observer, then. We catch, okay, an academy, a spinning armory, and 2 factories. We can't see what's up here, though. So SHimmer takes the 3rd base here. I like this, I agree with this. Usually around 6 minutes, 30 seconds is a very standard-ish time if you're playing a standard game that is folded out standardly. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, these are very standard benchmarks I'm giving you. But this has thus far been a pretty standard game, so. Good, we'll get mining here. Additional gateways. What are we building here? Okay, Citadel, good. Second gas, I'd like. And we will probably, my guess is we're going to see Arbiter Tech. because we're going for the Citadel, and we can see a Stargate and a Templar Archives go down at the same time, and that will kind of cue us. That'll key us into what SHimmer's going to plan to do here. We've got the gateways on blast. We're continuing to produce Dragoons. Getting a second cast, that's good. We're getting this mining, that's good. Continuing production of probes, that's good. Control of the center of the map, that's good. Ideally, we'd like these to kind of be spread out, though, because if he's coming with a push that you don't see or don't know about or whatever, and he has like 2 tanks and he sieges them out right here, and you can't see them, and he targets like this one, you're going to lose like 3 goons. If he's got upgrades or whatever. You know, so be careful about clumping. And also he can rush vultures right up and lay mines against your clumped goons, so I think it's good to spread out a little bit. Like, this is good. You have full vision. This is good. We can tell whenever Terran moves out. It's great. Okay, so this is not upgrade style. We know that because there's no starport, no science facility, no second armory, but he has decided to go up into the higher factory count, which is the more aggressive variant. This is the aggressive option for Terran. What Redmund wants to do here is he wants to build up a sizable force of siege tanks, and then once they're done and siege mode is done and everything's done, you move out and reinforce with lots of vultures while you get the speed upgrade. And this is a 6-fact +1 running off of 9.5 minutes. I think it normally comes a little bit earlier, but you know, we're not gonna nitpick too much here. This is the execution of it, though. So we'll be moving out across the map. We should be constantly reinforcing out of all 6 facts with speed vultures, trying our hardest not to lose any of the tanks. SHimmer's going to come out here to meet the army of the Terran. It's going to go ahead and decide to fall back behind the bridges. It's a little easier to defend behind the bridges, but once Terran gets across, that's a big problem. And here we can see mines being laid to fortify the defensive forward position here. He'll bring these tanks forward, probably set up a line here for maybe a soft contain. And we'll continue pumping more units. And what's the response to this if you're Protoss? Students, what's the response? Well, ideally, you would like to know how many factories Protoss has and then respond with extra gateways. If you see Terrans making more factories, you make more gateways. And, well, we had a tap out from SHimmer here. If you have money and you have army still, play it out. Let me take a quick look here. Alright, so here we are. 60 probes to 47 SCVs. Now we can really tell that Redmund was full steam ahead with this 6-fact push because he's probably cutting SCVs to do so. So, yeah, there's that +1 right there. From here, I don't know, like, we just don't... I think we plant the Dragoons here and wait for him. We just constantly force him to siege, re-siege, inch forward, re-siege, inch forward, re-siege. You know, and buy enough time. Okay, see, yeah, you're getting the gates. You're getting the gate count up. It's a little bit late, though. But yeah, you want to get up to, like, however many factories Terran has. +2? So, like, yeah, 8's good here. You know, it might depend more on what your economy looks like, actually. Like, what your economy can handle. But with 3 bases mining, he could even go up to 12, maybe 14, I presume. Don't quote me on that. But I don't think we should have left this game. It's very playable. We've got some Zealots here, Dragoons. Yeah, we just try to use the Dragoons to kill off the Vultures, force him to re-siege forward, inch forward, as much as possible while you continue pumping. Yeah, okay, so here's the Stargate. This was going to be an Arbiter tech. Yeah, this might... It's tough, but it's still playable. If you have money in the bank and you still have army, play your game out. Otherwise, you both actually did very well. Like, seriously, that was a pretty good game. I think we just kind of got funneled a little bit at the end and then frustrated and left. No, not bopped. It was an alright game. It was an alright game. Okay. Excuse me. Game number 4. Gonna fire it up. We'll take a look at, ooh, something new. For the first time today, in today's cast, we'll be looking at a Zerg versus Zerg. Spawning in the upper left corner is the orange Zerg. It is ManiacBen. And in the lower right corner is the red Zerg. It is, again, Night Dad, under the alias of DogFart69. Awesome. So, ZVZ. Alright, it's fast, it's bloody. It's 2 naked hobos with knives in a phone booth. It's usually Zergling, Mutalisk, Scourge heavy. So, what I'm looking for is to get to 9 drones, if there will be a pool. We already have an Overlord, so ManiacBen's already going a little bit more economical. Night Dad, going for 9 pool. I think 9 pool's a pretty traditional opening in this matchup. I think even higher end players maybe do this to other Zergs, like 25% of the time at least. It's effective if you have good micro and control of Zerglings. Alright, and then we have an over pool here for ManiacBen. Now, the over pool in Zerg vs. Zerg, I'm trying to think, and there's not... Because overpool doesn't really grant you any advantages at all, it's very middle of the ground. In Zerg versus Zerg, because the matchup is just so tight, you want to start with an advantage. You want some sort of advantage to play on. Because this matchup is fast, bloody, and... I mean, it could be over in seconds. You lose units very quickly. That's permanent. Units lost permanent, larva lost permanently. Alright, now here's the interesting deviation here. We could have seen him go for speed first, but instead Night Dad chooses layer first. So this is a 9 pool layer. What this opening for Zerg intends to achieve is the fastest possible Mutalisks under, under some sort of standardized economy where we can continue to afford things anyway. Which, we have... he squeezed out another drone, 7. I think that was risky, because if the enemy Zerg had been coming for him, he'd only have 6 Zerglings, and if he'd lost the fight, drone's not really going to save him. But that's not ManiacBen's plan. Instead, what we're seeing is him taking his natural base and getting layer. In fact, Zergling speed has only started not long ago. It's halfway done by Night Dad, so that'll kick in. We're still holding this ramp. This is a defensive play. If you're doing 9 pool layer, you are defending while you put your spire up. So we'll watch. He'll put his spire up. You can afford it now. Timing. Okay, there's our spire. Timing. Timing. I'll want to be tight on timings if you're going to play Zerg. So then, ManiacBen's Overlord gets in here, sees this, understands now the difference between his opening and this opening. It means I have the Zergling advantage, is at least what he is assuming. Now, we'll take a quick count here. You see there's 10 Zerglings up on the ramp here for Night Dad 8. Are there more in production? There's 2 more back at the main. These need to rejoin. And they do have speed. okay. We're on even number here. Even numbers here. Try that again. It's really going to come down to the engagements. ManiacBen manages to slip in with the Lings a little bit, but I think that advantage is closed out and negated by speed. 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄 holding the top of the ramp here. And we're in full Zergling production right now. ManiacBen getting his own Spire. But it's quite behind, right? It is quite behind 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄's Spire. Like I said, this aims to achieve a very, very fast Spire, so that we have very fast Mutalisks. And that is the advantage that 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄 is going to try to play and win with. So we have 6 drones mining in the main. Okay, 2 on gas and 7 on minerals now. We're droning up a little bit. Alright, our Spire's popped. 2 mutas on Scourge. Aha! You see how we flew past this Overlord? That's because, correctly, 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄 is playing his advantage, which is fast Mutalisks. Now, how do you fight fast Mutalisks? Well, you press the advantage by getting in there and doing damage as fast as possible. We do see that the response pops just in time. Take a look at the patrol micro if we've got any. Unfortunately, we don't. We lose it behind. We leave it behind and end up losing a Muta. Both Scourge end up connecting, so that was a worthwhile trade for ManiacBen. More Scourge popping. But we're not without a sizable force of Zerglings that'll come in here and meet another sizable force of Zerglings of ManiacBen's. We'll get cleaned up, and we're losing a lot of units here. More mutas are going to hatch. We're up to 4 now. Got 1 Scourge left. And we are very close to out of options here. If you are 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄, because we are 1 hatch's worth of larva production versus 2. And we're also down an Overlord now. So that's really tough. I think one of the things that we can consider about 9-pool layer openings is that the rush distance on this map. I'm not really sure if it's close enough to make that viable, because as we saw, his mutas got here, and then ManiacBen's own forces hatched. So the time window that would have been our advantage was closed right at the last second. Okay, we're going to try to sneak in here. We got another Mutalisk rallied up in there. It's going to be 6 total, but ManiacBen, with the 2 bases, 2 hatch, 2 larva, we can see the terror of the units that he's got, that he's bringing forth. There's nothing here. I think we're about to see the end of the game here. There's no way. Like, yeah, you can bring the mutas up here and sneak around and knock out a bunch of drones, but now he knows where your flock is. Oh, we need to respond, though. We miss it. Ooh. So that was a lot of free value then, actually. Which ends up being very, very good for 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄, but unfortunately, the Zerglings are still a threat, and there's nothing here to defend them. And that's going to be every drone going down here, which will indicate the loss of the game. To continue to play from here on is untenable. The only way we would still play is if this was a winnable fight. But we know that he's got the advantage, right? He's got more gas, he's got more larva, he's got more... So, yeah, you know, I think just the timing of that overpull being, you know, that gap is not closable in that time frame, I don't think. I think that's probably what that means. I'm not 100% sure, because obviously there's optimizations to consider as well. And, you know, there's a lot to consider. There's a lot going on when you're playing a game of StarCraft. I mean, we can analyze all we want. I try to break it down as much and help you guys try to understand as much as possible, but there's a lot that goes into it. Very, very complex. Alright, let's boot up our next game. Here we go. What's the map? You know it. It's Neo Dark Origin. All week, week 2, baby. Here we go. Next game starting up. Spawning in the top left corner is the Orange Zerg. Returns ManiacBen. And then my favorite Protoss player of all time is the Magenta Protoss spawning in the bottom right. It is SHimmer, representing Clan Revolution. Alright, we're starting to get into the thick of this cast, and I'm starting to feel it. Ugh. Might have to go and refill my water. Not sure. Alright, so we're going to stick a pylon here. Somewhere around here. Preferably be in the middle. Yeah. And, okay, we're going to pylon scout. Pylon scout will cut into your economy a little bit, because you could send that probe back to mine and then just come and make your forge at 13 if you were forge fast expanding. We have the Overlord here for ManiacBen, so he'll probably do an overpull. Going up past 200. So, okay, we're going to make drones. This could be an 11 or a 12 hatch. Oh, he's going to go for an 12 pool. Okay, a 12 pool against Protoss. You know, I'm not really sure. Okay, because see, here's the thing. Like, if he proxy gates you, the Zealots will get here in time to kill you, right, I think? I'm not really sure. I've never really opened up like 11 or 12 pool versus Protoss. I'm not really sure how that interaction works. I have a rough idea, but not enough to say anymore. Ooh, nice. SHimmer doing a really good job here with this probe delaying this hatchery. You can ever see it was delayed for a number of seconds. That's really good. For Zerg, one of your top priorities in the early game is getting your hatcheries down on time. Because if you don't, then your larvae don't come out on time. And if your larvae are behind, then you're permanently losing units. Okay, so here we have Forge, 1 cannon, fast expand. Pretty normal. 6 Zerglings here for ManiacBen. So here's the deal. You'd like to make 2, at the very least, to chase around the probe and kill it so that Protoss doesn't get free scouting information. The other 4 are kind of unnecessary, right? Unless you're gonna attack him. So I like this move here by ManiacBen, going for the attack because you made 6 Zerglings. So we're going to slip by this cannon here, and SHimmer, without the confidence to proceed after 4 Lings get in. 4 Zerglings inside of a Protoss base is cause for concern. If these are controlled very well, or very, very well, the game is actually over. So, SHimmer not exactly confident enough that he can deal with 4-ling micro inside the base, because the game could very well be over, but this is extremely execution dependent, and you should always execute. You should always try, at least. Because it has to be done. Like, they still have to do it. And they still have to do it properly. And I don't know, man, like, you can, if you drill probes and attack with them, Lings just explode. Alright there, so we got a victory off the back of 6 Zerglings. If you decide to make more than 4 Zerglings, you're basically on the offensive. Because otherwise you've just spent larva on not drone. don't think there's a whole lot to say there. That game ended kind of prematurely. The SHimmer's opening was good. ManiacBen's could be tuned up a little bit. Generally, if you want to be safe, overpool into 11 hatch. Super safe, super standard. Good economy. Bleh. Well, yeah, let's see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got. Alright, more Group 14 coming up. Okay, folks, next game coming up. We've got a player with a color identity, and you guys know how much I love color identity. Spawning in the top left corner is the orange Zerg. It's ManiacBen coming back at us. And a newcomer to the group, spawning as the magenta Terran in the lower right. It's Preseason. Preseason. I like that. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, my guy. I am a Neanderthal. I don't pronounce words. I'm not too good. Alright, so 9 drones. Initial saturation, good. Overlord. Will we see ManiacBen go for this interesting 12 pool opening? So we have the money for an overpool now. We're gonna wait. Yeah, he's gonna pop some drones. And here we see what is going to become what should become a Mickey Mouse wall. If you think of Mickey Mouse ears. There's an ear here, there's an ear here, and there's a barracks here. Okay, so the deal with this is that you get a 2-building choke, right? But then you have a big gap here, and then a small gap here that Zerglings can all flood through. So, in general, it's if you're spawning, especially bot right as Terran, you can do depot, barracks underneath, depot. Like depot here, barracks, depot. And that would completely wall off. And then you'd be safe. But like this here is not safe. Zerglings can and will get in. If Zerg chose to go that route, if they go like a speedling timing or whatever. I like this, tucking the SCV away for, some time. We'll collect more information later. Maybe Zerg forgot about it. It happens to me sometimes. Alright, and we are taking a rather fast command center. Taking off of 15, and just only now getting our first Marine. And, oh, okay, I see. Now there's still going to be a hole here and a hole here. So if we just took this and put it down like here, and then this right here, that would plug it up completely. This should actually be up a little bit more, I think. And then we'd have that, because otherwise it'll get in the way of the command center. But here we have command center opening. We're getting gas, and we're getting gas before a second barracks, which is a little bit more on the tech side of things. So I'd like to see an engineering bay or an academy next. That would make the most logical follow-up here, I think. We don't need this supply depot just yet. Only 21 out of 26, and your command center is going to finish soon. Don't forget that this will give you an extra 10 supply, I think. Is that right? Find out pretty soon. Alright, so we are getting a 3rd hatchery. This will give us additional larvae to work with. That's good. But we're missing our layer, right? Okay, there's our layer. So 3 hatch into layer. This is a safer way to open, but it's a slower way to open. Because you get more access to larvae, You can make more Zerglings to help defend or do whatever you need out on the map, and then you can still drone up at the same time. But the trade-off to doing this route, instead of teching up as quickly as possible, is that your tech is that much slower, which gives Terran more time to set up, more time to, you know, get stronger and power up on 2 base, which Terran is really good at. Yeah, see, now I think we have 3 holes, actually. I think that's a hole right here. And here, and here. And these Zergling Speedlings could just flood in and kill all this. Like, logically, this looks like a really good wall. Like, you'd think, if you didn't know this game well enough, you'd think that's a really good wall. Well, the game's kind of old, and it works in funny ways. So yeah, but depots to the right of racks is usually good. This is usually pretty tight. But Zerglings and Marines will fit between this. But supply depots on top of a barracks is completely sealed in between. So if you manage to get a supply depot on top of a racks like that, the underneath is sealed. Alright, so we're going into mech. I'll go ahead and get the armory here, a 3rd factory, and we're in a pretty good position here to be able to go into mech because we're not facing any imminent threat from Zerg. Why? Well, because they went for more hatcheries instead of faster tech. Like our spire is only halfway done. So this is what I'm talking about when I say it gives Terran a lot more room to breathe. It gives them a lot more time to set up. It gives them, you know, you're not able to harass the SCVs, you're not able to force them to build turrets as quickly. That cuts into their economy. Gotta get that armory spinning. Yeah, and we're just now building the eBay because we can. You know, we didn't have to build it before. Okay, a lot of speedlings coming in here for ManiacBen. There's a play here. He does not know that, though. He might, actually. If we could get this just a little bit closer. You could get it to here and it's still safe. But speedlings can surround this if we can get on it. Nope. Preseason, pulling that back quick enough. I like that word. Alright, so mutas are hatching. This is a pretty typical 3-hatch muta. That's just now getting out on the map. We'll go up to 11. We'll get an immediate Hydra Den right afterwards. This is so far pretty spot on. And we won't go into Lurker as usual because we're going to spot and identify that he's going mech. And Lurker's not what you want if Terran is mech. Okay, we're going to take a 3rd base here for ManiacBen. I like that. 29 drones to 37 SCVs. Alright, I think we should be around like 32 or more. Not too bad. Try not to let your hatcheries ever get 3 larvae piled up like that. You'll lose larvae forever that way. Alright, we're getting some picks here. Haven't lost any mutas yet, so all free value so far. Gotta watch, though. And aggro in here. Really starting to take a lot of damage on these mutas. A lot of missile turret coverage here as well. Really paying off for Preseason. God, I hope I'm saying that right. That was a lot of damage. So now, if you're Terran, you're probably feeling pretty good. Okay, we're gonna lift the barracks. Send out the troops. Again, we're looking at this like 8.5 minute Goliath timing. Now you'll see he opted to go for attack. You could do that instead. Armor is a little bit... I've heard it's more all-in-ish. I'd like to explain to you why, but I can't because I'm busy smoking. Okay. There's 4 mutas left here. That's not threatening. 4 mutas don't do anything. We need a lot more muscle. Full group of Hydralisks come down here. Okay, that's a lot better, but we don't have speed or range. And I cannot stress just how much weaker Hydralisks are without their key den upgrades. Okay, you see speed kicked in. Good, good. We're spending our money. When we have the extra money, yeah, we put down hatcheries. But typically that's after you've spent all your larvae. Like, spend all your larvae first. Then with whatever money's left over, if you have 300 minerals left over, after making all your whatever tech you're working on, spending all your larvae, not being supply blocked, put down another hatchery. Alright, here we are escalating to 6 Factory, the 3rd command center. Mines being researched. Still continuing to add Goliaths. And we'll see here. Now, alright, what do you think of this situation? This kind of looks scary, right? Well, here's the thing. With the situation this game is in, remember, it's an economy game, Zerg is basically all in at this point. Why? Well, because 28 drones is not sufficient to carry on an 11-minute game. So we've made all this muscle, and we're holding the middle of the map with it, but holding the middle of the map doesn't really give us value. Like, okay, we utilized the Mutalisks for the last time, delayed this command center, that's very good. But we don't have mutas anymore, right? We lost a lot of Mutalisks already, so we don't necessarily have a good answer for the siege tanks that are starting to slowly accumulate. And with +1 weapons, they're going to slice through the Hydras. Like a hot knife through butter. Boom, they're gone. Like, there's a lot of Hydras here, yeah? That's because that's what he's spending all of his larvae on. We're still at 28 drones. This is 100% all in, even though drones are being created right now. We don't have the economy to keep up with this game. So we need to get damage done. And unfortunately, with every single Hydralisk that we lose in this particular situation, our odds of winning drastically reduce. Because we don't have a lot to work with in the future. If we're future projecting, now we're at 35 drones, okay, that's a little bit better. We might actually be able to make that work. 40 drones, that's good. The only reason that's workable is because Terran's on 35 SCVs. Which I say is not high enough. No, we want this like 55, 60. We'd be able to afford a lot more. We could be maxed right now. 13, 13 and a half? Yeah. Alright, so the game's cooled off quite a bit. Players are just taking positions on the map. Terran defending their territories, they secure their 3rd base. Zerg has gotten the opportunity to drone up for free a lot, and they've done so a little bit. Alright, yeah, we hold this. Ugh, like this isn't gonna go well. Gosh. We need speed overlords as well. Anytime you're gonna go Hydras like this, you need to pair them with speed overlords. This is not approachable, okay? Did you guys hear me? That is not approachable. This is not approachable. Okay, we can hold. And maybe see if we can, you know, pick off a couple as he comes across the bridges, but he's just going to siege up and, like, obliterate you. We need a solution for the growing number of siege tanks. And an increasing Hydra count is actually, unfortunately, not the answer. We will need mutas to snipe them, if undefended, or queens to spawn broodling on them, which requires quite a bit of time and setup. Terran has now increased their SCV count to 50. This is good. We are starting to get into a more realistic 2-base territory. Third base starting to mine, but we have a third gas mining as well. For mech, that's a pretty big deal. I bet he just accidentally screwed up his comsat. Okay, we're going to make the fourth CC on the low ground here. He'll float this up and take control of this when he wants, when it's ready. Here's the speed overlords. Good job getting these. Like I said, they're necessary. Lurkers are not the answer. And the reason why is because they're immobile. Now that this is here, he could scan this and blow it up. Like, sure, you could pick them up, but as soon as they unburrow, first they're going to get splattered with a ton of shells. It's very difficult. They're position-based. You have to get them into position, and when you're playing a positional game with Lurkers and Hydra, you're trying to play a positional game versus Terran. Terran, who is the king of positions. And yeah, it just doesn't go well. I like this idea, but it's not going to do anything at this point. And wow, we just have a lot of forces here. Every minute that passes, I'm feeling stronger and stronger for Terran. We're looking at 1-1 upgrades. Vessels on the way, Irradiate's on the way. Yeah, now that we have Vessels out, we don't even need to scan. It's just your Lurkers just get blown up. Like, move this Vessel here, it happens. And now the Defiler is here. Let's talk about this. Alright. The Defiler in Dark Swarm is a big game changer. It does change the nature of how you interact and fight, because all ranged attacks miss 100% of the time under Dark Swarm. Tank Splash still hits. The direct attack doesn't, but the splash hits. Burrowed Lurkers under Swarm are invincible. That's important to note. And you might think, oh my god, they're invincible under Swarm! First of all, it's very positional. You have to get that position set up. It's not really as strong as it seems. And, like, as we can see here, like, we're just, when Terran goes mech like this, it's all muscle. It's all muscle. And when you go Lurker, you're building muscle. It's a muscle unit. The answer is not muscle, it's tech. It's deliberate tech. Queens to spawn broodling on all the tanks. It's, you know, crackling swarm with plague. It's, you can go Hydras, but you have to answer the tanks, the siege tanks, because siege tanks just counter Hydras so damn hard. Get a sweet plague off, aren't we? Oh. Okay, no, he's gonna... Alright, he's setting up. Let's take a look at Zerg's upgrades. We got 2 on Carapace, that's good. And 1 on missiles, but none on melee. And that's a problem. We want to get melee going. It's not even started. That's a problem because Terran has a lot of armor. And as they continue upgrading, it's just going to get worse. So, like, you see how the Hydras are still dying underneath the swarm? It's because the splash damage is still connecting. And look, the Hydra's attacks are shooting underneath the Dark Swarm. These aren't connecting at all. So we're really just losing. Like, it's hard. This is a hard style to play. You're beating your head against a brick wall doing this. This is so difficult to play. Like, you need like 350, 400 PM Jaedong in his prime micro to be able to play this off. And it's also difficult because once we get to a point like this in the game, the number of options you have to choose to deal with this really start dwindling. Like at this point, we're 20 minutes in, Terran mech is like really well set up, 140 supply, 3 bases, 4th one up. You don't have a lot of options. The number of options we have here are very limited as Zerg. And we can do strategies like this to take and seize control of areas like this, but yeah, like it needs to be controlled really well. And lurkers don't do anything above the ground, so it's like you're losing a lot of muscle for free if you don't micro these all super well. And like, this is a good position, but he's got irradiates. You can try making this work. Like, you could try pushing swarms over and over and unburrowing your lurkers and pushing them forward too. But it's hard to keep up with while you're doing everything else, and before you know it, you're 2ing your back and your lurkers are done. And then that's all that minerals, all that gas, and a lot of larvae gone. It's just frustrating. It's a frustrating style to play. I like the Scourge micro. That's nice. Controlling the bottom of the map here and all the airflow. Alright, we're starting to run out of steam here. We only have 4 mining on minerals here. Completely mined out in the Nat. We're going to saturate real hard on this 3rd base, so this 3rd base is going to mine out faster. We got this operational, that's good. But Terran's starting to push. We're going to take a look at this engagement here. It's all really going to come down to the lurkers plus the Defiler and what they can manage to get off. The lurkers do get burrowed. 3 of them do. And a good surround here from the Hydras on both ends sandwich all of this Terran, and wow. We flipped the script, folks. That changes everything. When we're playing Terran, and mech in particular, we need to be very cautious about the move out of our units, because our mobility is very low. It can be easy to get caught and punished. So now Zerg has this window to actually kind of fight with the muscle that they do have, that would normally have been inferior. Well, with a little bit of control, that could have gone a little bit better, but we did manage to catch a couple of tanks. We're not particularly worried about larvae, although we could afford a few more hatcheries. Could probably take another base. Mine this gas for sure. We've got more defilers. Yeah, I mean, I respect the play. I respect it, but it's tough. This is really hard to do. If the game continues on like this, however, 4-base Terran versus 4-base Zerg, well, that'll end in Terran's favor. I mean, we can already see the crazy mineral bank that Terran's got. They could spend to practically infinity on Marines or Vultures if they wanted. We've mined out here. 7 factories. +2 is finishing. And Zerg is starting to mass up in the middle of the map on the other side of the bridge. We have 3 defilers on the other side of here. High energy. More lurkers being built. Let's take a look at our upgrades. +3 carapace. +2 missile. Good job with the upgrades. It's definitely going to factor in the fight because Terran upgrades are very late. We definitely want to be 3-3 by now. A little bit of vulture skirmishing out on the map, trying to lay some mines. Scout, pick off some drones, whatever they can do. Good find here. That's a lot of kills. Alright, so 4 vultures. Nice run by. Nice utilization. Still 0 on the melee. Okay, so it looks like ManiacBen has finally identified a hole that he can punch through. You see, the 4th base here is weak enough that I can send forces here. Go in, deny it. Takes out the command center, that's great. Now fighting with the high ground advantage. This is good for Zerg. This is very good for Zerg. Oh yeah, we're getting lots of value here. This is a bit bruisery. Yeah, that's pretty rough. The setup is tough. It's so tough. This is such a hard style to play. It's so tough. But multiple skirmishes at the same time. You're sniping this command center. That's a really big deal. That might be one of several nails in the coffin here that might help close out this game against Terran. Got more Zerg streaming in from the top side here. This isn't enough to stop this new 3rd base from coming up, but it is enough to get a couple of kills, namely siege tanks and vessels. Yeah, they're trading very well here. High ground to low ground, very good trade. Attacking on multiple fronts, very good. I like it. Once the vessel gets here, these all die. That's kind of why we don't go Lurker versus Mech. Like, the setup is so hard, and Lurkers need to be set up. Got a bunch of Zerg streaming across the map. Zerglings, hey, +1 melee right there. But streaming Zerglings in like this is just wasting larva. We're not getting anything done. Okay, finally taking another base here in the top right. This will be Zerg's 5th base, but it will be, by the time it's online, should be the 2nd one mining. This will mine out. This should mine out. This is a lot more than I thought it would. Yeah, we'll keep mining this. And it looks like ManiacBen's going to try to push ahead across the bridge here, unsuccessfully, losing quite a bit of forces there. Pulls back with whatever's left. 3-3 on Missile Carapace, that's nice. They're losing more larva units. Oh, that's funny. That's a funny way. He was going to take the space, but now he's going to deny it with this drone. And Vulture comes up and slaps that. So, get down! Alright, Alright, so yeah, with all the minerals available, I kind of saw this coming. Lots and lots of vultures, and vultures do phenomenally against Zerglings, would you believe it? Still spending, still massing. Like, we saw that bank get used up, so really good job on the spending there. That was 7k. We brought that down to 1k. That's economizing right there. That is spending. Good job. You spend so much. Oh my god. You might be an American. Alright, so we're securing this base as well at the 3 o'clock. That really should be Terran's 4th. I mean, if this gets up, that's basically it. But Terran's going to actually go in for, he's going to go for the throat. But with 3/3 Hydras, and not enough mech, and 2/2 mech at that, that's not fully upgraded. I can't stress that enough. We're 30 minutes into the game, they're not fully upgraded. Like, that could have changed the entire game, like, 15 minutes ago. So, I think we did good and we're playing pretty good, but, you know, for Terran, it's upgrades. It's upgrades, baby. Doesn't matter if you're playing bio or mech, it's upgrades. That's upgrades, baby. Big priority. So these trades are actually very good for Zerg. And oh, the mind dragging attempts are really good too. We're not getting connects, but they're getting close. And yeah, we're starting to see... Oh my god, that was beautiful. Zerg just kind of close in and kill off the rest of this mech army, and this is really painful for Terran because these are a lot more expensive and a lot slower to build. So losing them is really, really bad because it takes so much longer to rebuild them. And that gives Zerg time to just do whatever. Set up, drone, whatever. And we've already got a pretty firm command established on the top side of the map. And this is still here. Can you guys believe this? This is still here doing nothing. That's great. Like, this is the MVP pocket right here. High value. Super sneaky. Alright. Out of money. Out of money. How we still have money here, I don't know, but... Got 1 mining base, 2 mining bases. We're going to fight here alongside the 3rd at the choke here. And 3/3 Hydras are going to perform phenomenally against Vultures. We got that +3 mech weapon kick in, but we're still missing 3 armor. And actually, neither player is making anything right now. After 32 long ruling minutes, we managed to reach a complete standstill. Catching some drones that were no doubt accidentally rallied onto the middle of the map. I mean, that's good. That's good. It's free. Drones are good. Okay, and coming up here and manually grabbing value, getting drone kills. This is good. We've managed to lay the command center down here in the bottom left. There's Zerg here, though. We need to do something. Yeah, we managed to come out, but this scares me. I think we're going to lose this if we're not careful. Out here is rather exposed, and this is not a lot. These units can't really reinforce each other that well. We need more. We need a higher quantity. And the game's slowing down quite a bit. You know, there's not a whole lot going on right now. I imagine both players being pretty exhausted at this point. We're looking at probably very real APMs here of 110, 125. Very real exhaustion APMs. So we're looking at the endurance game here. We're looking at the stamina of these two players, really, as they try to flesh out the rest of this game. Okay, we're getting something done here. Oh, it's a tough call. Zerg will hold this, though. They got enough reinforcements coming. And again, we're losing siege tanks. Like, they're so expensive, they take forever to make. They're so slow. But this is our last hope. We gotta secure this. We gotta get it mining, we gotta get it secured. Because we're out of money. And, alright, he's done a good job of macro, right? He's still got a good number of forces left. But this is all we're left with. We're not making any more, because we can't afford it. So, okay, moment of truth. We gotta push out, make something happen. We have to connect to bot left. If we're gonna make this game work at all, we gotta connect to bot left. And see, this force is super fragile. Like, if you just had a couple Mutalisks. Not sure how this game is going to end, because I mean, we're looking at a 32 drone count. That's don't kid me, guys. That's low. That's also low. So Zerg's not working with a whole lot either. This is a nail biter. There's not many units left, but I think losing these tanks might be the final nail in the coffin here for Preseason. Yep. As was foretold, but a very long, very heavy 36.5 minute game. Give these two players a round of applause. Incredibly similar scores as well. Can you imagine being neck and neck with someone like that for 36.5 minutes? Phenomenal display of endurance and vitality as well. Alright, let me dig through my files yet again. Let's see what else we have. We're starting to run out. We're coming towards the end of the stream. Gonna dig into the bag of Group 14. Next game coming up. Flip it over. NDO. Top left, spawning as the Black Terran. It's your boy coming back again. P-R-A-Z-Z-I-1-N. I don't know. Preseason? Preseason. That's right. Played very well. Played us a nice mech game versus Zerg last game. Showcasing good skills, good macro, good fundamentals. Down here in the bottom right, we've seen him play a couple times already. It's the return of Night Dad, signature trademark red color as Zerg. And so Terran spawns top left, which means we don't get a super free wall. The super free wall is if you spawn bot right, so that way we can put the barracks underneath. We could still wall, but like it's not. We'll put, like, if he puts the barracks here and then a supply depot here, the only issue, it's a good wall, but the only issue is that the Marines will spawn on the outside, where Zerglings can just run up and kill them. And that can be frustrating because you want those Marines to be safe, which means they have to be behind the wall, which means you have to lift the barracks eventually to bring them behind the wall. Which is lost Marine production and a threat of Zergling run-by. Okay, so this is an overpull. Got our second Overlord already out. Pulls down about halfway. Overpool versus Terran. Overpool 4-lings versus Terran is alright, because I think it'll spook inexperienced Terrans into building a bunker, which is what you really want. Making Terran spend 100 minerals that does nothing for them early on is really good if you're Zerg. We're getting the gas. This is early. If you're getting the gas this early, you're planning on opening a mech. A factory expand, most likely. You can still wall while you do that. Oh, okay, so he's going to put the barracks here, 2 supply depots here. Yeah, that'll leave 1 hole, I believe. Oh, no, here, okay, yeah, 1 hole. I'm going to come up here. We're going to see these Zerglings are a little fast. And there's 6 of them. Wackadoo. And if we get home with this SCV, that's really nice. I always plan on losing it, but if you get it home, it's nice. Or if you can get it back in for a second scout later on, that's also super nice. So it's 6 Zerglings coming across the map. If you see this number of Zerglings or more, you have to bunker. Unless your Vulture comes out on time, but we have not started a factory yet. So, oh, this has some real potential. You could just run up, run by, kill these 2, continue to run in. Getting a supply depot is pretty nice, though. Yeah, see, that's a hole. We're going to stop this Snat CC. That's good. We got a supply depot. Terran's supply block now. So we can't make any more Marines. We're only holding this ramp with 1 SCV. Oh man, this is super scary. Yeah, we need 4. Still alive. Drones. A 3rd hatchery. Alright, so we're pretty committed. We are not teching. We get the barracks though, and that's really good. But he manages to get a factory up. We're going to lose another... Yeah, we lost everything. We lost all the infrastructure on the low ground here as Terran. So now the advantage is definitely in the hand of Zerg. We don't have the incoming threat of tech, as we're only just now getting gas. But with 3 hatcheries now online, we're looking at a ton of larva potential, which could be a Ling Flood, or what we're seeing right now, which is a big drone up. And the drone up is a problem because it puts pressure, it puts a timer on Terran. You can see we're already past Terran's workers. This should almost never be the case. Like, this is really, really, really bad for Terran now. If the economies look like this. And we're still mining gas here. And we're banking a lot, but we're mineral starved. So what I would do is I would take these SCVs and I would transfer them. We don't need more gas. We're starved, we can't afford anything. Alright, we can clear this with the Vulture. Alright. Without micro, Zerglings will rip through things. So again, we need some help securing this low ground again, but we're out of units actually. This is very, very, very concerning. Because yeah, now the Zerglings are going to get in. Yeah, we'll be able to clean this up. We'll be fine. It's almost like you had them on hold position or something. But we don't really have anything else. Oh, there's a Zergling under here stopping this. That's awesome. This is good to do. Because we're delaying the command center more. Yeah, and only now can he land it. That's good. So, okay, Sunks to defend against Vultures. That's good. Super saturation here. Saturation here's too low. 2 more drones, at least. Like, Like, I don't know what we're transferring here for. These should all be coming back here. We're going Hydras, alright. And the Hydras are going to need to be combined with something to support them at some point, especially once siege tanks get mixed in. $34 drones to 20 SCVs. The lead is still firmly in Zerg's hands. We're seeing a Spire go down as well. I like this. This is the support that I was talking about that the Hydralisks need. You can go Hydra Muta. That's good. Because then you can use the Mutas to corral the Terran army, keep them back, make them careful about their movement, and then you can snipe tanks every time you get the opportunity. Okay, so only now are we getting this operational in mining. So the economy Preseason's going to kick in now, but we're 7, almost 8 minutes in. It might be too little too late. Like, Zerg has powered up so much. Look at even another macro hatch. Like, this is a tough fight. He's even expecting mutas, so he's getting Goliath range first. We're getting +1 armor. And it's tough. He has to play blind too. He can't move out. If he moves out, he'll lose anything. He has to assume so. And he doesn't have an academy, so he has no scans. We are very much so in the dark. The only really chance we have to scout anything is this floating racks. And yeah, I mean, might as well. It's tough. This is when playing against Zerg gets really hard, is when you don't see them, and you don't know what they're doing. So 3 Factory Goliath now coming online. This armor's not going to be ready for a long time. Because we're low on 31 SCVs, we are struggling to continuously produce. So we have these will now go. You should make more SCVs. And like now that he has to build turrets, he has no money for anything. Because he has 33 SCVs. Now he has to stop producing. Like, that's just how it's forward-looking. So we always want to try to. The mistakes we want to correct are the early ones, because it increasingly compounds over time. So looking at later mistakes is often just redundant. Okay, Zerg getting a 3rd gas online will also be a pretty big deal. A flock of mutas here. They have no upgrades, and no upgrades are on the way, so we're looking at naked mutalisks. But a full group of 11. They're going to come in here, and yeah, they're going to take out the turrets. They're going to take out Goliaths. We're straight up fighting. That's a lot. I would not fight that. Get a couple swipes as you escape. We got a full scout off, but we didn't get the damage that we needed. And we lost some mutas, so good for Terran. Not necessarily super impactful either way, though. Alright, Night Dad's got something else up his sleeve. We're gonna see. Unless maybe it gets spotted in time. We can see Preseason doing a good job here being vigilant about this back door and checking it. Ah! You can see it. That's a lot of mutas. Okay, still on layer tech. Okay, we're going to pick off an SCV. We took quite a bit of damage there. This is a lot of Goliaths. And they do have +1 armor. Alright, he's going to use the lurkers to slice through all of these. Remember, these are stacked. These are stasis cells with 2000 HP, but there's like a bunch of them stacked. But the lurker spines will hit all of them at the same time, so you'll clear this instantly. So, what Brazen needs to do is recognize that his top is under siege. And if these forces manage to secure the high ground up here before these forces get back up here, it might be game over. Got more speedlings moving out in the middle of the map. No upgrades for them yet. The time is now. Terran is distracted at the front with a couple of Zerglings that they easily mow through, but that was just a distraction. He does turn the forces around as he recognizes what's about to happen. The flank is somewhat successful. They both come up the ramps at the same time. Some of the lurkers are starting to burrow. We do have scans that are available. 2 scans on the main, 3 on the nat, so we have definitely enough detection to fight this. We just need to be able to get into a position. And this is not good, funneling up a narrow ramp with a bunch of lurkers that are burrowed here. Yeah, this turns into a really inefficient trade. And yeah, like I said, if he manages to establish this ground control up here before Terran gets back up here, it could very well end the game, and that's why. Because you can't get your reinforcements back up here. And then you have Mutas come in and just clean up the rest. Good game. Good finishing execution and strategy there by Night Dad as well. Quite the difference in scores too, which just highlights the difference that, you know, the disruption in the early game. What a difference that makes. Okay. Next game on the list, we do cast group 14. See how many we have left? Okay, we're starting to count down, folks. That was the 3rd to last game. This is now going to be the 2nd to last game for the stream today. And here it is, your 2nd to last game of the night. We're going to fire it up. It's NDO, of course, all week. Spawning in the top left as the Magenta Protoss. Again, it's my boy, SHimmer, representing Clan Rev. And in the bottom right, spawning as the Black Terran. It is our returning Terran player for the group. Yeah, Preseason. Good look, have fun, friendly manners from both players. It's always nice to see. Alright, a Terran versus Protoss. Time for another hit. Alright guys in the chat, you've been quiet for a while. What's going on? What's happening? I feel like I'm the dad that has to come upstairs and check on the teenagers. Alright, so far very clean, professional openings. Nothing too glitzy. We're coming out after a gateway, and we're doing gas. So this should be a core opening. That's kind of interesting that we put the barracks out this far. I think it'd be nice right here. Because, again, what does Uncle Forte say? Depot to the right, and Zealot tight. And don't you forget to put that depot on top of the barracks too. Depot on top and units will stop. But don't ever put it below. Never put depots below the barracks. Depot below and units will flow. Got that? I hope you kids are taking notes. Now I'm getting too old and cranky to do this for free. I'm just kidding, I love you guys. Okay, second depot coming down. Should see a factory after we collect our 100 gas. SHimmer going again for the core opening. Goon first, followed with range. So good standard tech opening. That Protoss can branch off of in a multitude of ways if they so choose. Okay, we lose the scout. That kind of sucks, but... Okay, so we're still mining with 3 SCVs and gas. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not. We'll find out pretty soon. I'm going to guess no, because we're building a bunker here. And if we're building a bunker here, it's usually to protect an expansion. And we can get that command center up a little bit faster if we have 2 of these guys mining minerals. Just Terran optimizations. It's just how it is. When do you put them back on the gas? Oh, that's easy. As soon as you place your command center down at your net. As soon as it goes down, boop, pull 2, back in gas. You're done. If you're playing a standard route. Of course, there's exceptions. It always depends on what you're doing, but you kind of have to know what you're doing to be doing this kind of stuff. And there we go. The Nat CC goes down. Gonna put the barracks underneath it. This is nice. It'll stop run-bys. You can choose to produce more Marines, which he does need to. He only has 1. That doesn't protect against anything. Another SCV gets sent out, but, you know, SHimmer has his presence on the map with 2 goons. Range about to finish. If we could block this SCV from getting up the ramp, that'd be nice. Oh no, he misses it. Oh no, we're not pursuing it. What happened? Guys, fellas, this is war. Oh, yeah. Oh, we missed another opportunity there. Alright, so Terran's gonna get in. We're gonna get a freebie scout, sort of. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, knock him out the box. Alright, so we didn't really get much of a scout. But it's, you know, 2-gate observatory. This is super safe. This is good. We can continue producing goons. We'll have a nice healthy goon count. That'll give us a lot of muscle to be able to kind of decide what we want to do next. Usual choice is to take a fast third. But there's options. Alright. Now. So, okay, we're taking a second gas, and I'm not seeing any vital detection technology. Hold on here. Alright, we got a siege tank, so SHimmer should just back off. Alright, now that we know that there's siege mode here, we just don't want anything to do with this at all. But we don't have any vital detection technology, and we're 6 minutes into the game. And here it is, our engineering bay. Your choices are engineering bay or academy. If you go academy, everything hinges on scan, so you better not waste them, or know how to use them pretty well, or practice using them well if you want. But otherwise, a lot of players will tell you the better approach is to just go eBay, because then you don't stop your command centers from building more SCVs to build those scanners. That actually totals to 4 SCVs that you get back if you go eBay. So you'll have 4 SCVs more. And generally you'd like to have this by the time you need it, which, I mean, if he's going DTs faster, you need it like around the 5-minute mark. Or if you know there's a shuttle, like you need it depending on when the robo timing is. And so, and SHimmer gets a good scout here. We have an eyeball on the factory count. We see it's going to be 4. And yeah, the missile turrets are now going to start going up, but we already have eyes inside. This is good. Oh, that's so good. Oh, we lost a goon. Mines, okay. We just have to be a little bit more careful next time. But look at this healthy goon count. And then we, yeah, slowly add more gateways as you continue to expand. This is good, but we need workers here. Alright, we need more workers. Boys, we need workers. Come on. Yeah, there we go. CC's, lighten up. Nexus, lighten up. No, come on, light up. Guys, we're not even 8 minutes into this game. Come on, light up. Light up. All of you, light up. Light up. Unless you're specifically doing like a timing push that involves cuts, light your shit up. Light it up. If you're Zerg, egg it up. The tightness of these missile turrets makes them very effective at denying things like shuttles and observers, for sure, but it also reduces the amount of value that they have by overlapping the area that they cover. We could spread these out and have really good coverage. Now instead what we see him doing is compensating by just building more turrets, but this does eat into our mineral count and economy. Just some considerations. Now we'll need to think about taking a third base soon here as Terran pretty soon. We want that between 9 and 11 minutes, really. That's kind of what I say anyway. Okay, watch unit clumps again. Spread these out a little bit. That way you'll cover more ground and you're not more exposed. You're actually exposed here by being clumped up like this. Tanks could siege up right here and splatter all of this and you wouldn't even know it. You'd get the notification and you'd look at a bunch of blue goo. Oh, we're having trouble with vision. Okay. I'll shift tab. They played top versus bottom. Please congratulate the players and thank them for doing so. We'll be looking at blue Terran and red Protoss now. I hope that's better. Alright, we have a pretty healthy size of speed lots moving out here. They're definitely going to be able to support the Dragoons here. We would know it and with a fresh ice cream melted. Alright, so we have an engagement here. Terran's going to try to push forward and assert dominance to take that third position. And, yeah... no, I don't... It's a tough call. SHimmer made the correct call here by pulling the goons out, because we don't want to lose the Dragoons, okay? They have a high build time. And they cost gas. And they cost quite a bit of minerals. They're just expensive, overall. The Zealots, 100 minerals, faster build time, no problem. We're getting some mines laid out here to establish control behind the lines of the bridges here. Starting to siege up with the tanks. We shouldn't have any issues securing the third base position here. And given that it's at the 11-minute mark, that's right on time. He needs to do exactly this to stay in the game, keep his economy flowing. Here's that third CC. He'll lift it up, yeah, bring it over, right on time. So, well done. This is timed out fairly nicely. Okay, good. Controlling the high ground here with an observer. If a threat comes, we can just back away. Goons are fast enough. Okay, we're missing some attack upgrades here. If you're Protoss versus Terran, just get the attack upgrade. It's worth it. The shield and the armor, they don't do anything. There's no important breakpoints. I wouldn't bother. It's money better spent elsewhere on tech. Get your tech faster. Okay, so we have a pretty firm control of the third base here, as well as all the territory behind these bridges. So we're 3 base to 3 base. That isn't exactly a position that we want to be in if we're Protoss. We'd like to be a base ahead, ideally too. We are seeing quite a big size army though. SHimmer doing a pretty good job of spending, and as we can see, Raz is banking up quite a bit. We're going to need a way to spend all this money. We're not producing. This is just a missing window right here. Just a couple missing macro cycles. We have the money and we have the supply to do it. So, a little bit regretful, but, you know, game's tough. Game's shit. Rip. Alright, so a lot of speed zealots here for SHimmer. Goodness, that's a lot. We have to be very careful about mines and mass vulture, and that's really it. Well, there's a good number of mines here, but not enough to stop this, I don't think. Plus this, if he brings it. Another round of goons. SHimmer doing a pretty good job of macroing. Yeah, really cranking units out. 155 supply to 116, that's a pretty good gap. Arbiter tech, all the Arbiter tech is ready. And we're trying to cross the bridge and force a fight. Is this too early? Or is SHimmer making the right call with a killer instinct to go for the throat here? I don't know. There's a lot of Terrans reinforcing from the south here, and it's going to be a full concave against the invading Protoss, and it's just not going to be enough. The tanks are sieged up, and all that's left are goons, and we're just going to see the splatter. So, we had done so well up until about 14 minutes, but what went wrong? Well, there comes a certain point in a PvT game where Gateway Man becomes insufficient. And that time is really when Terran is able to mass and establish. Now this isn't quite mass, but it's big enough. And here we're throwing away zealots. I say throwing away because we're not really going to establish any value with them. We're not killing any military units. We picked up a couple SCVs, but it's just a couple hundred minerals down the drain. And the goons don't have any zealot support, so they're going to die very quickly, especially the tanks. And yeah, I gotta agree with SHimmer on leaving the game at this point. The unit losses and the miscontrol on this one was just a little too much to handle. So really, really strong macro, like almost impressive macro for this level, but then a little bit on the execution. Like I said, you could split this game up. There's two sides to it, and both really need a lot of attention. Should have played it out? Yeah, you could argue that. You could always argue that. Premature GG. Yeah, that's fair. I'm just economizing on 3 bases versus 3 bases and the loss of the size of the army, the significance of it. It's definitely a very uphill battle, but yeah, should have played it out. You can always say that. Alright, well, we're winding down here, folks. What do we got left here? Just one. Just one. One game left for this cast. Alright, let's do it. Ooh. There we go. Neo-Dark Origin spawning top left. Top versus bottom. Blue Protoss, it is once again SHimmer with the rev tag. About right as the red Zerg. It'll be our precious Dogfart 69, who is Night Dad. Now, I'd love to stay and produce more content, but you know, I gotta go pick the kid up from daycare, I gotta start dinner, I gotta clean up the house a little bit, I got a lot of stuff to do. Adult life. That's right, Vint. Adult life. But I told you guys I was going to cast more this season. So here I am. Trying to make it work. Trying to make it work. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty quick scout. We're going to start analyzing right away. You know, pylon scout. This will absolutely reveal anything on time. But this is normal, right? So it's fine. Like, it's a very safe thing to do if you want to figure out what your opponent's doing, just to be safe. But again, I think it's better if you maybe build the pylon and then go mine this mineral here and send it back, come back, you know, and then work your way up to 13, 13. I think is a pretty good, solid, or 11, 13, 13. You get your Forge at 11 and then your Nexus or Cannon at 13. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm pulling out Memnon from chat. It's everyone's favorite New Zealander, Dogfart69. Yeah, it's a little bit of lore, little trivia there, player trivia for you. My dad is New Zealander. Are the Kiwis their pets or pests? They're so cute. No, I'm pretty high. I'm getting distracted. Alright, so, SHimmer, again, has done a pretty good job today of hatchery delay. Oh, no. Oh, yikes. Alright, so a critical attention mistake here. That's very, very common, actually. Very common. To forget and lose track of where your first Overlord is. So, we lost an Overlord, which means we're supply blocked. That's very, very painful. And like I was kind of saying earlier, it's the early mistakes you want to focus on the most because those are the ones that compound hardest. So, like a kind of a largish mistake like that, this early compounds very hard. And then from here, so what do you do? What do you do? What you do is you swallow it like a man and admit that you made a mistake and you learn to play from behind. You just have to be a little bit more careful and look for opportunity. You can't really take risks anymore. That's all. And Brood War's a game of comebacks too, so you can kind of count on your opponent making mistakes as well to leverage that and even that out. Like, you don't need to be critical of each and every mistake. Okay, getting the third hatchery online, fourth hatchery online. War hatch before gas. All right. So, if we're opening 4 hatcheries before gas, we're playing rather blind unless we have something inside of Protos's base to scout. And this, we're basically pigeonholed into Hydra play, right? Because if you want to go Spire, then you get the gas much earlier, your lair much earlier, and then the presence and threat of a Spire much earlier makes your game much more impactful. And you don't necessarily need the economy. You need the gas, but not necessarily the full economy to make a lot of Mutalisks. You do for Hydras. So you'll need the larva to make the drones, facilitated by more hatcheries. So yeah, like as I was saying, here's our Hydraless Den. So this will be a Hydra-centered play. It has to be. But the pros of playing a build such as this is that you get access to so many larvae so much earlier that, like, look, he's just like vomiting drones out. Like, so many. And he's closing the gap very quickly with SHimmer. 28 to 30 already. Yeah, we got a couple chatters in the chat recognizing a little something. Is this the Nagnar build? This very much so looks like the Nagnar build. Yep. Very much so. We'll know if he gets a 5th hatch pretty soon. I think you're supposed to get Hydra speed. Okay, so SHimmer's going to come in with an initial 3 Zealots. Oh, sorry. An initial 3 Zealots here, and oh, right into the mineral line. Picking off some drones. This is good. This is good. This is good. Alright, like now a smart move would just be to pull out. Go home. See, like we're super committed with these Zealots now. Like, you better get value with them now. You better get more, because you're committed with them. And then stuff like this happens. So, we might just lose these Zealots now and not get any additional value out of it. So that kind of equalizes all that value we got earlier, but the drones are a little bit more worth it. We don't have +1 missile started, and that's kind of critical with this build. Is we want to be at +2 missile versus Protoss as soon as possible. To contend with Protoss in the mid-game, like 10, 11, 12 minutes plus, if you don't have +2 missile on your Hydras, you're just not going to fight them well. You're not going to trade well. Okay, we are going Lurker as soon as the layer pops, that's good. The Nagnar build, you're supposed to get Hydralisk speed, and then Lurker as soon as you can. Take a look at Protoss' base. Let's see what SHimmer's up to. He's getting +1 now, but it's 8 minutes. This is pretty late. It's really nice to have +1 earlier because then Zealots can just absolutely meat grind Zealot or Zerglings. But we do have a Dark Templar. That's nice. I'd like to see this out on the map doing something though. There's really no value at all in keeping Dark Templars home ever. They should always be on the map doing something, trying to get value, trying to kill drones. High Templars are good. Storm's ostensibly done. I didn't actually check and see if it was. Adding cannons should be done very intentionally. We should know and have information that confirms Zerg is coming for us. Okay, we're getting goon range now. That's good. We don't have a robo, and that's a bit of a concern because we're starting to get to that 9-minute mark where lurkers become a reality. Okay, there it is. I stand corrected. So here's our robo. Good timing, by the way. This is about when you want to get it. It's about when you want to get it. That's good. We'll get an observatory as soon as this finishes. And yeah, we just continue to macro. And as we see on the right side of the map, we have Night Dad doing the Night Dad special. This will be the second game in a week, where he's going to bust through the back here with lurkers. Yep, so this will be the second time doing this, abusing the crap out of this map. I salute you, you filthy Zerg. Taking our third behind it. What did Uncle Forte say earlier in this cast? What did I say? When you go aggressive, when you move out on the map, take a base behind it. This is killer 4D chess right now. 𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄's doing exactly what I think he's doing. This is like the best thing to do. This is the best thing to do. You're not attacking the hatchery. Why? Because if you do, it's going to piss the Zerg off. Okay, they're going to get a notification that says you're under attack, and they're going to look and they're going to hear the swipe. Everyone knows what the swipe sounds like. Okay, you don't do that. You stick it near the mineral line, where it waits for the drones, and then they all come in, and then they all die. A horrible DT death. Big exchange of units in the middle of the map here, but it looks like they pass each other. Good storm comes down here. Okay, good storm, and the goons are going to sandwich from both sides and clean those hydras up. That was a good clean engage on SHimmer's part. We're going to move across the map, across this bridge, but at the same time, we have the Night Dad Special in action, pouring up this ramp. That is a lot of lurkers. That's a lot of Zerglings. We're going to go straight for the main nexus. We're going to go straight for these probes, and SHimmer recognizes that he's in so much danger. Yeah, there's really nothing we can do. With our army out of position down here. We deny the third, but at the cost of being able to defend home. But we had no idea about this. We had no way of knowing. It's a game of information, a game of money and information. But nevertheless, actually a very well game played by both. Quite a slick play there at the end. Whew. Oh my goodness. Alright, that was almost 4 hours. That was 3 hours and 40 minutes that we've been live. On to the next group. Redacted. Yes, a player has been redacted from that group because they just weren't able to participate that week. Weren't available. Didn't play. So yeah. Oh, alright. I'll tell you guys what. I can't promise anything, but if I can, this weekend, I'll do another big cast if I can. Alright. And if I can't, maybe a smaller cast. I might just do like a smaller group if I can squeeze that in. I'm trying to cast more. I'm trying to get out here more. Like I did in earlier seasons, but I became a dad and things got really tight. Like I just don't have time. Oh man. But time windows are opening up for me now and I get to cast, and I'm very glad I get to. And what we got left? 13 viewers still hanging on. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in and watching me. Plan to see more casts from me in the future. If you have any criticisms about my cast, I would love to hear it. Or anything else otherwise. You know, I'm a pretty open and honest person, so you can come talk to me. But that's it. That's it for me. I'm gonna get off, start making dinner, go pick up my daughter. You know, go do adult things. So I'll catch you guys next time, and I'll be around on Discord. That's it for me, though. It's Forte signing out. Bye-bye.